Good morning, Ms. Zen. So my topic today is the rest of the three Vipassana technique from Flower Garland Sutra. So Vipassana and Samatha Vipassana, Zhi, Guan. So again, if you simplify all the Buddha's teaching or techniques to two words or letters, it's Zhi and Guan. Zhi, again, you try to slow down the mind to a focus point. And from there, you study the nature of everything. Actually, very practical. If you want to study piano or painting, you have to letting go all the other thoughts, right? And focus on piano or painting. Try to learn the knowledge, try to study the nature of painting or piano. Same thing is samatha and vipassana. So vipassana is while our mind is calm enough, can focus on a point or have an open monitoring of all the phenomena world, you have insights arising from that study. So vipassana, it's like a scientist try to figure out the nature of the universe. He has to focus on a star or atom or any subject, then try to figure out the principles of the star, black hole, or atom. So, for example, you just be now the awareness emerges if you can just be instead of thinking, the awareness emerges. The master is at home now. The master is coming, is at home. It arrives at home, arrived at its how to say, a master room or chair, sitting, watching everything. So I will go through from 1 to 6 Vipassana techniques. So let's start from the third one. The fourth one, sorry. The fourth one to the sixth one, that's what our topic today. The fourth of the Vipassana technique, 智身影现众缘观. So 智身, if you go back to my previous videos, I talk about the great mirror-like awareness. So 智身 is the body of the mirror-like awareness. It's infinite big and infinite small, and you are that already. So beautiful. 智身, the body of wisdom, the body of great mirror-like wisdom. So in Buddha's teaching, we have 4 great wisdoms. The first one is 大圆镜智. So big, the great mirror-like wisdom. If I translate 大圆镜智 into English. So again, your awareness is like 4-dimensional mirror, reflects everything. That's the basic function of a mirror. It just reflects naturally. Okay, that's your basic nature of who you are. Once you open your eyes, you're aware of something. Like a mirror reflects the reflections or all the surroundings. Like now, in this moment, at this moment, you can reflect everything. And it's naturally coming. Your eyes, what you see, what you hear, what's your body sensation, what you touch, what you smell, what you taste, and what you think. It comes, the awareness reflects or aware of all these six senses naturally. Make sense? 智身影现众缘观。I want you to feel that. Your four-dimensional awareness reflects every content in the awareness. 影现 as the 影现 reflect. So 众缘观 众缘 means every external and internal reflections or factors. So we have Yuan. Yuan is a very, we often use a lot in the Buddha's teaching, Yuan. So if I give you an analogy, you have a seed of, say, apple tree. You have seed apple tree. You put in the earth and water it and, nourish it. So it will sprout someday and grow eventually to an apple tree. So all the external like water, earth, sunlight, raindrops, wind, or even birds and insects are the yuan. So we have external conditions, we say, to make it grow. But the seed itself contains an intrinsic essence of apple tree. So in the same way, you have the Buddha nature is your Ying. So you have an internal essence which need the external conditions to grow in a good way or in a bad way. That's most funny part. If you have good like apple tree seed, if you have good conditions like sunlight, sunlight, raindrops, earth, and all the nourishment, and with the care of that, you or the gardener, it will grow into big, giant apple tree, full of apples in some day. But imagine there's another seed, apple tree seed, but with very little care and sunrise or lack of water, so it won't grow, or if it's grow, it's very bad quality. In the same way, so it's Nei Ying and Wai Yuan. So you have the Buddha nature. What we are doing here is just cultivate your my voice or my voice or this sharing or teaching is kind of good conditions that cultivate your Nei Ying or your intrinsic Buddha nature to grow. Make sense? So 智身影现众缘观. So 众缘 is like lots of conditions to make you grow or make a seed grow. So in this four-dimensional awareness, you know what is external conditions, like your family, like your background, like your education, and your internal environments, your thoughts and memory that play tricks over you again and every day. Good morning, Kirsten. So 智身影现众缘观. So in this four-dimensional awareness, you know external surroundings or conditionings, and you know the internal environment, like your emotions, like your feelings, like your mental activities, memories, plannings. You know it all. So in this four-dimensional mirror-like wisdom, you reflect everything externally and internally. That's called 智身影现众缘观. So you have this insight to understand what's going on outside and inside. You see how beautiful this only 7 letter Chinese characters, 智身影现众缘观, but it contains huge lots of information. if you try to decode this 7-character phrase, wow. 智身影现众缘观. Okay, that's the 4th Vipassana techniques. So again, in this, we say the Yuan. So all the conditions and forms and names, and also the internal surroundings or environments, thoughts, memories, emotions, feelings, they are a matrix, infinite matrix, connected or entangled with each other. And it's like it's a dynamic flow of information, matter, data, and energy. Can you feel that? You are right now in an infinite ocean of information, data, and energy. Information, energy, and matter, actually. The 3 basic elements of the universe. I mean, in a scientific way, if you explain it that way. Yeah. You are the center of your world. Can you experience that way? Yes. 智身影现众缘观, the 4th. Now the 5th. 多身入一镜像观. So I'm so sorry. I tried to Google the English translation of the essence of flower Garland Sutra. No, because this one is so big. It seems it's 80,000 words, and from translation takes huge words. First, you should be very good at Chinese and English or Sanskrit or English or any 2 languages. Second, the translator is a awakened one. Otherwise, you cannot decode the original texts. So if that translator does not awaken, he cannot translate because all his understanding will be very biased. So I cannot find the English version of the essence of the Flower Garland Sutra. So I have to use the Chinese one, and to talk about it, to try to, from my perspective, from my experience and awakening, to explain it. Hopefully one day I can do the translation and the benefit everybody who try to study it closely. So the 4th, 多身入一镜像观. So it's it's our experience. So sometime, actually there's a story here. If you know the first emperor, the only emperor, the female emperor in Chinese history, Emperor Wu Zetian. She is an emperor, but in old Chinese, in ancient Chinese time, only male can be an emperor. But this lady, Wu Zetian, Miss Wu or Emperor Wu, she was the only and the first and the last female emperor in the whole, like, almost 5,000 years of Chinese history. And there's a story about her, about this 多身入一镜像观. So sometimes we go to like a playground, or there's a lot of mirrors, and lots of mirrors surrounded or in different angles, and you enter, you see a lot of reflections of you, right? How to call it? I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe there is a specific term for that kind of how to say, surrounding. So there's a lot of mirrors in the movies. Sometimes when the agent chases a bad guy, so the bad guy disappear in that all mirrors surrounding is, and then you see you here, you see you here, you see here. So what all of the reflections. Kirsten, do you know how to say that? You enter an area full of mirrors that are different angles, so you see infinite number of your reflections. If you go down, you can just give you an example. If you put two mirrors straight facing each other directly, so theoretically, if you put the mirror reflects each other so infinite numbers of times. So the mirror here will goes to this mirror, and this mirror will reflect it to here, and here go back and forth infinite numbers. So imagine there's a lot of different angles of, and here there's mirrors. So you enter that kind of area, you see so many different reflections of you. So I'll give you this analogy because this is the fifth technique, 多身入一镜像观. So, for example, you are standing in the center of arena or of a room. There's 10 people looking at you at the same time. So in each one of these 10 people, your family members, say your parents, your mom, your kids, or your partner, looking at you at the same time, everybody has a reflection of you. Make sense? But there's only one real you. So all the reflections from these 10 people looking at you is unreal. So beautiful. So right at this moment, if some people think about you or look at you or remember you, every thought that people think about you is a reflection in his or her mind. So you have that understanding that you may be reflected by all different people, and from that perspective, individual, different perspectives of the person who are looking at you or who think about you, they have a different reflection of you. That's why in nature, we say in a Chinese tongue, we have beautiful poem, 千江有水千江月. So there's only one moon in the sky. But if you, in Canada, we have so many different pieces of water. Every piece of lake or, big or small, a pond will reflect that moon. "千江有水千江月." So imagine the 7 billion people now in the world looking at the moon at the same time. The moon is at one moon, but can be reflected in the 7 billion human brains. That's how beautiful the understanding of the nature of the universe, or how different perspective can reflect same thing differently. So that's why we say there's only one planet Earth. There's 7 different billion worlds, because the Earth planet is reflected in a 7 billion different minds. And everybody has a different translation understanding of planet Earth. And in the same way, you can apply, everybody has different understanding of this iPhone, even. Definitely, yes. And so that's the 5th one. 多身入一镜像观. And you can say every coordinates of space-time can reflect the other coordinates of the space-time. So it's like so beautiful. I don't have any picture here. So if I expands this principle, or every coordinates, like this paper box, okay, represent the whole cosmos in a different way. So the atoms here in this paper box, comes from different sources of trees, woods, and natures, and nutrition, raindrop, sunlight. This is a small universe already, because it contains infinite information, energy, and matter. Even it's such just a plain paper box. In the same way, everything contains other conditions and factors in a unique way. Every coordinate of space-time reflects other coordinates of space-time, and it's a dynamic flow of information, matter, and energy. Wow, so beautiful. So this whole cosmos and nature is a never-ending, everlasting movements, exchange of information, matter, and energy. It never stops. There's no beginning. It always like so. 法尔如是. Wow. So 性起凡心法尔止. If you go to, I think it's the 3rd samatha techniques. 性起凡心法尔止. So I've said the vipassana and samatha techniques are blended together. It's like it's a circle. It's a half circle and it's another half circle, but actually it's a dynamic circle. And every point is in a circle, and every point is made of this whole circle, and every circle made of this circle too. So beautiful. So that's the 5th Vipassana technique. 多身入一镜像观. So you see a lot of reflections, and everybody has different perspective of understand the same thing. That's why we have 7 billion worlds, but only one planet Earth. The 6th, the last one, the last Vipassana, 主伴互现帝网观. Actually, I explained it a little bit. 主伴互现. So, if you are a conscious mirror, or you're a conscious awareness, like now, you're looking around, and you're looking inside. You perceive outwardly and inwardly. So you are the main character. You are the creator of the world. Without your awareness, without your world. So in this term, in this perspective, your awareness, the awareness is 主, is the main factor, while your world or all your reflections is kind of secondary important. That's 主 and the 伴. So if your mom is sitting beside you and she's looking at you, so you become a secondary, you become her reflection in her main mirror-like awareness. That's 主 and the 伴. So everybody, like, that's why you are the main character in your world. You're the main director of your movie life. You're main creator. You are the creator of your world. That's 主 and the 伴, 主伴. 主伴互现. So the conscious mirror needs a reflection to reflect. It's like there's no mirror, there's no reflection. There's no reflection, there's no mirror. Makes sense? Actually, if you go back to my introduction or the first part of the Garland Flower Sutra, I said 自性清净圆明体, the 自性, the true self, is not manifested yet. It needs a external factor or a condition to manifest, becomes your true awareness or becomes aware. So in this perspective, the trinity of the 自性 and the 本心 and the Yuan, 自性, is unmanifested but contains infinite information, matter and energy to manifest. Is unmanifested yet. Once there's a movement or there's a stimuli to stimulate this 自性, the unmanifested, it will become aware, become conscious. So again, in our experience is in a deep sleep without dreams, you don't know anything because the awareness is not there yet. But when anybody call your name, you wake up and you saw everything, and your name, your body, your surroundings, your memory, your family, and so on. Your world jumps into your, actually it's not jump, it's just that simultaneously becomes trinity. So somebody wake you up, now you're aware, and your world comes in, jumps in, right? So the 自性, awareness, and the contents of awareness, the trinity actually is one. It's one thing. It's so beautiful. If you go to non-duality of Swami, I forgot his name. Sorry. The non-duality actually are these very identical. That's how beautiful. It's like the sage's teaching always come to one, and it's the source of everything. If we break down all the philosophers' principles into one thing, I'm talking about it right now. 自性清净圆明体, the unmanifested, the awareness, and the content awareness is a trinity. So 主伴互现帝网观, you are aware, you are the main, you are the 主要, important, the primary, yes, let's say primary factor, because you have to be aware. Then all your memories, your families, is the reflection of this three-dimensional conscious mirror. You, the awareness. So all the memories, relationships, or reflections become secondary. 伴, 主 and 伴, primary and secondary. The most important and some like not so important. Let's say that. I'm sorry about my English, not so good. I don't have the progeny of the words or language. I will improve myself. 主伴互现. So it's a mutual existence. It's a coexistence. A mirror won't call a mirror if there's no reflection. So you're not a wife or husband if you have no husband or wife. Make sense? If you're not married, you don't call your husband or wife. Once you're married, so if you're female, so you're a wife and husband. So without husband, without wife, right? So if you're female, so the wife is primary character from your perspective view, and your husband or your partner becomes secondary. I mean, from this context, okay, everybody's identically important. 主伴互现帝网观, if you see that it's a 帝网, it's a matrix of reflections. Again, you see every technique kind of overlapping each other and reflects or contains each other too. How beautiful it is. 主伴互现帝网观. So you, the awareness, is primary. Every reflection, every image, sound, your body sensation, your smell, the taste, your memory, thoughts, mental activities, emotions, feelings are secondary. It's a ban because they're all the reflections in your primary mirror-like consciousness. Make sense? 主伴互现帝网观, and it's a coexistence without reflection, without mirror, and it's a coin of two sides. Without this side, without this side, without side A, without side B, it's a coin of two sides. You see how beautiful it is. Infinite reflections through mirrors. So in this way, every human brain is a mirror. Every human brain reflects the cosmos, the nature, the society, the family, and the list goes on and on. Every human brain is conscious. So Einstein's brain, Hitler's brain, Aristotle's brain, every brain, not only now at this moment, I'm only talking about human brain, 7 billion brains like now, reflects in a different way the cosmos. And everyone has a different understanding, experience of the same thing. I mean, fundamentally same thing, but superficially different. So beautiful. It matches the science right now. So superficially, all forces, matters, energies are so different. Like strong force, weak force, electromagnetic forces, all different force. The gravitational force seems so different, but actually, fundamentally, we call it universal unified field because it's manifested from that infinite big and infinite small unmanifested 自性, and you are it. You are that. And if I'm only talking about the 7 billion brains, at this moment, at this generation, if you goes back to 10,000 years ago, the statistics shows there's 110 billion human beings walking on planet Earth. Just a roughly number. 110 billion. They all have different experience, families, memories, understandings than you. Everybody is a drop in the ocean. But only the awakened one, enlightened being, knows he's not a drop in the ocean. You are an ocean, entire ocean in one drop. This human body, this human mind body is just finite, temporary manifestation of the infinite, everlasting 自性清净圆明体 So beautiful. And every moment you are drop, okay, you disappears and appears, you disappears and appears, you disappears and appears. Do you know how frequent it is? This vibration, if you, there's a Mila Pusa, Mila Pusa, a Bodhisattva, he explained 1280 兆. So if I'm right, it goes to 10 to the power of 15 vibrations in 1 second. How can you discriminate that vibration? So give you example. We like to watch a movie. So 2 frames in a second. If you go to original movies or films, 24 frames of still pictures make a fluent movement of action. 24 frames in 1 second of these still pictures, like, so you see my hand moving because you have a, actually my hand moving from here. So if that vibration is 10 to the power, let's say, I will double check it, 10 to the power 15 order vibrations. So that's why you see, so this world is so dynamic, is so true. But if you put in a scientific way, it's a still frames of everything that moving and give you impression that everything is moving smoothly. So crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I try to review all the 6 Vipassana techniques. So this one is the second part of the Vipassana technique, okay? But if you go to I'll try to make it like a complete one for the Vipassanas. The first one, 摄境归心真空观. So your light of consciousness shines on the objects of a consciousness, like the subject is a light, like you're conscious. The light of consciousness is touching my image, is listening to my voice. The 6 objects is your light of consciousness or awareness is touching on the 6 objects of your 6 sensory organs. 摄境归心真空观. And you're not disturbed, you're not distracted, you're not, focused on any point, in any object. So you bring the sense of I amness back, which is always there. The awareness is aware of yourself now. 摄境归心真空观. So 摄境, it's kind of management. You have a management of the reflections. Try to bring your attention back to the mirror, the self. 自性摄境归心真空观. You are aware. To put it simple. And once you're aware of the awareness, you're aware of the contents of awareness. 摄境归心真空观. If I use a direction, so your awareness is back from outside to inside. There's like a flow of the awareness. Second one, 重新现境妙有观. So from the awareness, now your awareness is back. Now from awareness, now you try to manage or touching the reflections or the contents of the awareness again. So it's a loop now. It's from outside to inside, now from inside to outside. Actually, every moment, every nanosecond, this process is going on and on. But the insights, that's the insights. You try to understand the nature. 摄境归心真空观, 重新现境妙有观. The awareness back to the source, and from the source, try to manage the contents and its dynamic loop or flow. And the third one is, let me see now. 心境秘密圆融观. So from this understanding, this seemingly like is seemingly two circle or two half of the circle actually is one. So it's you're looking, you're understanding, and then you try to looking again, you try to understanding. It's a loop so frequent. It's a highly dynamic flow of information, energy, matter. You see, 心境秘密圆融观. And unless one day, these insights is always there. You don't need to think about now. You just see its nature. It becomes your moment to moment experience and the realization and the understanding. The fourth, 智身影现众缘观. So the greater mirror-like wisdom reflects all the conditions, karmic force, the effect, cause and effect, the never-ending cause and the effect chain of all the phenomena world. And you are the center of that chain. It's not one chain, like you're the hub, you're the center of every. If I use a line as a chain, so in this line there's infinite chain, cause and effect, say why you dress like this, why you're sitting in a room, why this computer is in front of me. There's an infinite cause and effect. And say this phone, why I bought this phone, why I show this page of the, why this phone is made. This respect has infinite cause and effect chain. So beautiful. So it's every thoughts, every element you can sense contains a small universe. Make sense? So that's the beauty. 心境秘密圆融观. So 智心影现众缘观. The greater mirror-like wisdom is manifested because now you're understanding what's going on outside, inside, why, and why. Actually, you don't need to figure out why. You accept. You fully accept what's going on outside and inside. You stop the karmic force by full acceptance. That's my insight today. Lots of people complaining no matter it's outside world or like news or situations or inside emotions, mental activities, they are complaining. They cannot fully accept what's going on. It's a assassination of a Japanese former premier, prime minister. 性起反省法而止. You just fully accept what is going on outside and inside. You can study infinite cause and effect why this prime minister was dead. you don't need to figure out, because if you want to figure out like a policeman, there's huge chance. You fully accept what is happening now is the ending of the karmic force on you. Even birth and death is ended. You really enter the birthless, deathless realization. Is not situation. 性起反省法而止, the third samatha technique. So let's back to the vipassana. 心境秘密圆融观. You have complete understanding of what's going on outside as a reflection and inside the internal environment, and the awareness that can reflect. You understand, and you identify you are the awareness. You disidentify with the contents awareness. Let's say that first. Actually, the contents and awareness is one. The contents of the awareness and awareness itself is one thing. So it's where lots of practitioners get confused here. That's why this Flower Garden Sutra plays important role. It contains the Zen Buddhism, it contains Pure Land Buddhism, it contains pure consciousness only Buddhism. The different schools. This Flower Garden Sutra is classical. It's a textbook of awakening. 智身影现众缘观. Then fifth is 多身入一镜像观. Everybody is a reflection of the manifested. Everybody has different views, understandings of one identical nature. How beautiful. Then the sixth 主伴互现帝网观. You are the creator, you are the center, you are the hub of everything else. So that's you are the primary factor, which the secondary factors, all the factors which are secondary, reflected in you. You are director of your life. You are the editor of your life. You are the cameraman of your life. You're the main character of your life. 主伴互现帝网观. And I'm not talking about this life. I'm talking about all the lives maybe you forgot. And every moment of your life, you are primary creator. Can you experience it right now? It's how precious you are. You see? Okay, my dear friend, hopefully I can decode this secrets of wisdom or insights from my perspective. See you tomorrow. Thank you.